Hey everyone, welcome to the early edition of the Griffball Weekly Hubcast. Your hosts, Goose, Cheka, and Cal will be joined by special guests, me and NOKYARD. But mostly, NOKYARD, because he's been playing with all sorts of food items.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, DJ can do the intro live this week.
And now, it's time for the Griffball Weekly Hubcast, only on twitch.tv/GrifballHub.
Hey everybody. Welcome to the Griffball Hubcast.
Might as well do whatever DJ said.
273. I'm Goose Cheka.
I'm Cal.
And tonight we've got two awesome people on with us. We have DJ Blue.
Hello.
And the one and only NOKYARD.
That's me.
Hi. So
Yay.
we normally record on Sundays, but we really wanted to talk to NOKYARD about all of his adventures at the Enchilada Factory. So we had to shift some things around. But we finally got somebody on the Hubcast older than Rally.
There you go. It's quite an achievement.
It is.
All right, so let's just dive right on in. NOKYARD.
Okay. I'm going to dive right in. First things first.
Wait, is NOKYARD older than me?
Wait, DJ, you have to interrupt them now, just to make it fair.
Sorry.
No, you're supposed to. Cal interrupted Goose, so you're supposed to interrupt Cal, then I interrupt you, and we just keep it going in a circle.
Yep.
It's
Just an interrupted circle.
I stabbed Cal.
And yeah. So, did anybody have a difficult time picking NOKYARD out in the video?
I actually haven't seen the video.
I haven't
What?
seen the video
Go
either.
watch.
I'm
Video.
busy.
What video? Wait, what
It's like-
video?
It's like 90 seconds long. Come on, guys.
Oh.
It's like 90 seconds long.
Wait, but what? Where?
The Forge release video.
Yeah, NOKYARD was in a video. It had the community 343 invited. Was it 4 or 5 of you guys?
You guys played it right after the game broadcast the other night.
Oh, see, I don't get to see that.
busy.
Halo 5 Forge.
Oh, so yeah, the community cartographers are invited to 343 last month, and they 343 released like a 90-second video of them, like a vidoc type thing, and not one of the people in the video. You could see him for like the first 80 seconds of the video. You could see NOKYARD in the background wearing his Griffball World Tour shirt, and then at the very end, there's like a 3-second clip of NOKYARD saying something.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah, they just wanted you included. Were you hiding from the camera?
Kind of. Mostly because I was trying to get work done. So I'd always say, go to the next guy, and then, oh, it's dinner time. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
I can tell he's watching it right now.
So I guess first, could you tell us the story about?
Why don't you just play the video for viewers that haven't? Can you throw it up there?
Oh yeah, I can throw it up there.
Yeah, why don't we do that, DJ? That way you can just watch it with us, and then we can talk.
Okay.
about it.
Oh my God, I see you!
There I am.
I saw you. Wait, you were wearing my shirt that I was wearing yesterday during the interview.
Exactly. That's what I was typing that in the chat box. So I guess
Yes,
you did.
that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. All right.
Yeah. Cal's gonna put up the video right now. We'll
All
just
right.
watch that first.
When
I'll
we
pause
wanted to
that
do
and
Forge
close
for
that.
5, we really wanted to go
So
nuts
that's
with
awesome,
it, using
dude.
this new power
Now
that we
you're even
have
more
with
super
Xbox
famous.
One.
This is great.
What can we do to make it so basically users can build fast and
especially-
easy, and that's
go back.
really where our goal was to
Okay, here
start
it
from
goes.
there.
I'll just be quiet.
So this week we've invited 5 community members. We call them Cartographers. 5 people who have been playing Forge since Forge was around to start playing with.
These guys are spending a whole week here with us. They're doing things that would have taken them 4 days to do in like a couple minutes now.
This Forge is insane.
All the suggestions that the community has had over the years, they decided to put in their lighting effects, more terrain pieces, more rocks.
We have round objects.
Appropriating colors to our objects.
We have the system in Forge now called grouping, where you can grab objects and you can group them together, and now 20 or 100 or 400 objects will act exactly as though one object.
I made my entire base on one side of the map, grouped the whole thing together, shifted it, and then moved it across the map. And that was it.
Having these really solid foundations and them really finding their vision and their voice in the maps will help us deliver better maps for the community in the long run.
It's just so much more. We really did not expect this. We were just blown away with the new features.
Most of the stuff that we have always been asking for is in the game now.
Everything's new. The controls are new, the content's new, the tools are new.
I could barely sleep, and I'm just dreaming of using the new tool systems. While it might be hobbyist at this point, we'll see in the future because I'm going to be creating a lot of new maps.
All right, well, that's the video.
That's so cool.
Yes, it is.
I'm super excited now.
All right, so we want.
So Goose and DJ, that's the first time you've seen it?
I think I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't know what I was watching, and I was doing 5 other things.
Okay, I saw it. I was
Ditto.
walking home from work when the news came out, and I stopped on the sidewalk. I walked into the lobby of a church on the side of the road to pull out my phone.
To pray.
I was looking on my phone. I watched the video on my phone. I started tweeting about it. And then as soon as I got on the train on the ride home, I pulled out my laptop and started writing up the article for the Hub about it.
You did not stop at a church.
Yes, I did.
There's no church on the way home.
On K Street, or not? On K Street.
Oh, I thought you were on the metro and you got off the metro.
No, I was walking down the road to go to the metro to take the metro home. And on the road, that's when my phone started buzzing about the news.
Church?
Well, yeah, I wanted to get off the sidewalk and sit down somewhere to read all the forward
steal
news
their Wi-Fi?
No, I just wanted to sit somewhere. There's a church there, and I went in.
Did you walk in and sit at one of the pews while people are praying?
Yes.
You're on your phone?
And I was like, "Hey guys, look at this! There's Forge.
Our prayers have been answered.
Our prayers have been answered."
Stop what you're doing. God answers prayers. We've got Forge. And they're like, what? Did he want a communion? I don't understand.
Okay, NOKYARD, can you start at the beginning? Like,
I want the story.
Being invited to 343. What is in going and what's the story?
Well, one question at a time. What was the first question?
The first question is, can you tell us the story of how you got invited? Like, what was that like getting? How did you get the invite to go? And when did you get it?
I just got an email from Bravo. Bravo and I keep in contact every now and then about matchmaking stuff and cartographer stuff. And I thought, you see, the last email I sent him was I sent him the MCC Griffball playlist because I wanted to get it off my desk just so that if they decide to put in a Griffball playlist and Master Chief Collection, they have it. You know what I mean? I just wanted it off my desk. So about a month after that, he sent me an email. I thought it was just a reply to that saying, oh, yeah, I just read it, whatever. And then it was just, the sentence was, keep this under your hat, but would you like to come out for a visit? And I don't remember how it was. I think I replied in about 3 seconds. Like it was that fast. Just yes, and then hit enter just in case, but yeah. I think what he did is he took all the cartographers and he was gonna, I don't know, I guess they knew how many there was bringing up, but he just went through them one by one, and the first 5 that said yes went, and turned out it was the first 5 he asked. So it worked out great that way.
Oh,
so
wow.
So it wasn't just you guys didn't know, like even the other cartographers didn't know what was going on. It was all a big surprise to them. I'm actually in the chat with them as well, talking to them about it, but you know what? I'll close that so I can focus 100% on this.
And then I remember when DJ and I were at Leo's house, we were streaming a Griffball game before PAX, and you were there, and you were asking Leo, hey, I'm going to be in town next month. Are you going to be in town? Leo was in Europe, but you told him a line about being at a wedding.
Yes.
Oh my God! Now it all makes sense. I totally remember that conversation.
I don't even know why. What I was going to do is I was going to wait until I got there and find out from them if it was okay to contact Leo and all this other stuff. But I just kind of blurted out saying, hey, I'm going to be in town. And just as I hit enter, I thought, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be telling anyone this. So I got to quickly make up a cover story. So I said, yeah, so I'm going to a wedding. And it turned out he was out of town anyhow. So I just dropped it, didn't say another word, thought, whew, that was close.
Leo is so close to the conspiracy.
I know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's okay. Leo's actually fireable if he breaks an NDA, so.
Yeah.
They'll just whip me if I do, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you get the invite, you travel to Seattle. Did they pick you up?
When I got the invite, I didn't even have my passport. So
wow.
And I've never been west of St. Louis, and I've never been on an airplane with a jet engine.
What?
I have never been on an airplane with a jet engine.
Do you take sled dogs to the grocery store?
No, I mean I've been on the smaller airplanes and private airplanes. I've been on several different types of helicopters, but I've never actually flown from one major airport to another. I've just I took a trip to Quebec, but it was just on a little 18-seater basically. So
how long did you have to? I mean, if you didn't even have your passport, how long did you have between when they said, "Hey, you should come visit"?
about 6 weeks or so. So I had plenty of time. Oh, wait a sec.
I guess it's different there.
Yeah, different in Canada.
Like the U.S., you need like 3 months to get a passport.
Yeah.
No, here you need 10 to 15 days, and you can pay an extra $50 to get it in 3 days, but it came in like 2.
Can I ask a question?
Canada.
Yeah, sure.
Where the hell do you live?
Where do I live?
Yes.
Just about a 15-minute drive from Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay. Now it explains it all.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I had to get the trip there. I had to wake up at the time I normally go to bed, which is about 2 a.m. That's what time my day starts. So that's 11 o'clock their time. That's when my day started. I had to get up, get my brother to drive me to the airport because there's no way I was going to leave my car there. That would have been like the most expensive part of the trip, leaving my car at the airport. So I had my brother drive me there, and flew there. And well, basically the first day was about a 28-hour day by the time it ended.
Huh.
So
Well, that's
yeah,
unfortunate.
yes, it was.
So how many? So and
I'll
again,
get back to that in a minute. But yeah,
if we ask any questions you're not comfortable at answering, just feel free to
I
slow us down.
really, other than my personal experiences on the trip and being there, yeah, I can talk about a bunch of things, but as far as Halo 5 Guardians goes, I can only talk about what you see in the video and clear things up that you see in the video. I can't say what features we saw that aren't in the video, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the double scorpion, I can't tell you about that.
Can't tell us about the dual wielding gravity hammers.
No.
Yes, exactly, that sort of thing. I can't even tell you if I held a hammer or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I
I
let
can
you through airport security with that.
no with a giant hammer. No.
No, but I did notice that Griffball was in the video, that it was right there in plain sight on your shirt.
Oh, okay. Which video did you watch?
Okay, let's not get NOKYARD.
Okay.
lashed, okay.
On the ban list, right?
All right,
Oh my
so
God.
Go ahead, Goose. Sorry.
So you land at SeaTac, and did they provide the NOKYARD Express, or did you have to take a
Well, myself, I met the other forgers at the airport, and it kind of shocked me because I walk up to these guys, and they're all like 6'5".
Right.
Well, actually, one of them's just a bit taller than me, but the three of them were all easily over 6'3", and I'm going, wow, are all forgers like this tall? This is something. But no,
Did you okay? Just back up. Did you walk through the airport and said, "Oh, hi, we're all forgers," and they were like, "Can I see your passport again?"
Yeah. My forged passport. No, it was tough explaining to the guy in security. The American security is in Toronto Airport in Pearson, and trying to explain to him why I was going there. It was just so over his head. But then I just said, yeah, I'm just going to Microsoft to work on a game. And, and once I simplified it like that, okay, now it makes sense. So that kind of made sense to him. So then he was asking me, like, how do I troubleshoot his laptop? And because he says it keeps doing this. And I was like, that's not what I do.
Sure, I
But
can
anyhow.
tell you what's really happening, but otherwise, it's classified.
Yeah.
you take one box and you phase it into another box.
Yep.
And that's
Do you
how
know anything
fix
about
it.
Z fighting?
Yeah.
But from the airport, they sent us a car and took us to like the fanciest hotel in town, which is great. The hotel they put us up as
was it the Redmond Town Center?
Yeah. No, it was
Not
the
the name of the hotel, but it's in that area.
The Heathman, right near 343 Studios, so
Oh.
2 blocks away.
Heathman's
It's
nice.
like a 4-star hotel. It's really nice.
Heathman's
We
cushy.
were someplace else because we were close to Microsoft, not to 343.
Oh, that's a different part of town. Yeah.
Very, very different part of town. Okay.
Yeah, that's the slummy part of town.
Redmond Town
No,
Center is very.
I wouldn't know. I don't know the area. All I know is that little corner of Kirkland is more Canadian than Toronto is. It is. Yes, like I felt more like I was in a small Canadian town rather than a big American city. And I mean, well, then again, I mean, I've been in New York, I've been in upstate New York, I've been in Detroit. So you kind of get, my vision of an American city is completely different than what theirs is out there. But yeah, it's so beautiful out there.
So
And Kirkland was named after Captain Kirk.
Oh, it was? Oh, cool.
No, I'm kidding. I have no idea.
No,
I'm
no.
totally kidding.
So you roll up to 343, and I know.
Well, we didn't. We were early. Okay, the car dropped us off, and we were just raring to go, right? So, and you got to remember, we arrived on Labor Day, so the touristy part of town is busy, but once you pass the hotel, it was like no cars, no pedestrians, nothing. There was kids in the playground, and it was the last day the public pool was open. But other than that, once you went to the business area up the street, there was no one because it was Labor Day. So we all go up to 343 Studios, and we're like shaking the door handle to see if we can get in. Of course you can't get in, right?
Yeah.
And we're just sort of standing there going, like, we had already paged Andy a couple times, or Bravo a couple times, and didn't get any answer back from him, and the other guys that were coordinating the trip, no one was getting back to us. And I figured, it's Labor Day, they're all at barbecues and stuff like that. So then one of the programmers, I guessed, or artist, walks up, and I said, "Can you pass us in?" He just looks at it and goes, "No."
Shady bunch.
And then he realized that we were kidding, that and all this, and we explained what was going on. About 10 seconds later, the door swings over, and there's Jessica, BS Angels, like right there, going, "Hello, who are you guys?" And I said, "Hi, I'm NOKYARD." And instantly her arms open wide, and I got like the biggest hug I've ever had in my life.
She's so awesome.
Such a warm welcome. It was just amazing because she knew me, and she didn't know three of the others, but she knew me and she knew Duquesne.
Yeah, and say she knows Duquesne.
Yeah, and so we each got hugs. The other guys just got handshakes. And so she couldn't let us in because they have rules about that. So she got a hold of Andy, and it turned out that we were actually set up the street, like the 343 Studios.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the 343 Studios itself isn't where the game is being developed. The game is further up the street in an office building. Like, they've got the 3 floors, I think, 3 or 4 floors of an office building.
It's very inconspicuous up there.
You wouldn't know. There's no signs in the door. It's just a generic office building, number 4. And so they brought us in, and our lab was actually just inside the front door. So we weren't actually in the studio. We're in a conference room at the front door, which means that anyone coming and going looks in, goes, "Hey, what's going on in here?" And you know what I mean? So it was basically like the reception area for an office the whole time, with people coming and going and popping in and looking over our shoulders and stuff like that. And Can I put pictures? Can I send you a picture through Skype? Does it work that way?
Here, how about I send a picture through Skype?
Tell you what, I'll just give you a link.
Okay.
And you guys can put it up, because this. Whoop, wrong chat. Sorry. I just sent that to somebody else. So just grab that, put it up. This is what I faced every day as I rolled into the studio.
All right, I'm loading it real quick, and I'll put a link in the chat box as well. You got it, Cal? No, okay.
It's not here.
Nope.
Aww, very nice.
Oh, that's fine. Can you just put it in the chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. Relax yourself.
Yeah, that's if you don't recognize him, that's Carter from.
Yes, it is.
From Reach.
I touched his gun.
Did you?
I did. I touched his gun.
And in the 343 Studios, the picture is Master Chief, and he's got a grunt plushie on his AR.
Yep. Some things just don't change.
Yep.
No.
All right, so you get there, your first day, you guys are super stoked. What's the first thing they let you touch?
Well, what they did is they just showed us. They just gave us a brief overview of Forge, and with them on this massive, like 105-inch screen on the wall, which was so cool to forge on. It was like it looked like a giant blackboard, but it was a TV, and it was probably the biggest TV screen I've ever seen. It was pretty big.
Like forging to scale.
Actually, the first thing you touched was EPA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The enchilada contracts.
So I'm looking through the Waypoint article. There's just so much detail here, and I understand about half of it. So, like, what are your top, if you could pick, like, 3 or 4 top things that are new in Halo 5 Forge, what are you most excited about?
Sorry, what was that again?
So, there's just so much.
You have a problem with asking, like, 6 questions on top of each other.
There's so much detail in the Waypoint blog that I can't understand it all. So, what are, like, your top 3 things that you're excited about with Halo 5?
The biggest thing I'm excited about, and the thing that most impressed me, it had nothing to do with what you read in the article. It was some of the guys in the video, the team behind it were beyond phenomenal. Like from the minute I walked in and met these guys, I just couldn't. I was just blown away with how smart they are and how quickly they work and how organized they are and how passionate they are. You get this feeling just being in the building that like, I mean, there's an excitement coming up because, you know, that was like a month before going gold or whatever, less than a month before going gold. You could just feel this excitement in the building. Everyone you talked to had this like excitement in their voice, and they're just dying to show their stuff to the world. You know what I mean? It was really exciting. And they're so smart too. The programmers there, like you see a bit of Tom French in the video. We didn't actually meet him for the first day and a half. The first time we met him was at dinner, or second or third day. Microsoft took us out to dinner, and he just got home that day. Like he went straight from the airport right to dinner and sat down and chatted with us. And I tell you, he's a hell of a guy to talk to. You can go on for hours talking to him, and the things he knows, the things he says, and the things he done will just blow you away. It's
And were these guys all taking notes on all of your feedback?
That's all they were doing. It was like taking notes. We had to fill out reports at the end of the day, which I always did in the morning. And everything we said, they responded to. They didn't brush us off or anything. They either said, okay, that's something we can do. That's something we'll look into. That's something we can put on our wish list for Halo 6. Like when I said, well, I want to forge, using Connect and my voice only. Can I do that? And they said, okay, Halo 6. You know what I mean? Every suggestion we made, they were just like sponges, just waiting for us to make these suggestions and get their feedback on what we did. And here, I'll give you one example. When on the first day of our build, magnets worked, but they didn't work well. They were kind of like it either was magnetized or it wasn't, and they hadn't rewritten them yet. And so basically, when you stuck two things and magnetized them, like stuck them together, you couldn't move either of them. You couldn't do anything with them until you turn magnets off. And they said that, with the new tools, you probably won't be needing magnets as much. And then we went and listed all the things that they didn't think about that you do need magnets for, and especially just for when you're quickly blocking up your base to see how everything looks. You just want magnets to quickly, throw things together. And we gave them all these examples, and they said, well, I guess magnets are important. Well, the next day, Ben, I don't know if you saw him in the video. Ben is one of the he's one of the engineers. Ben Walker's his name. He came back, not the next day, but the following morning. He came in and said, "Yeah, I think I got magnets working for your build. Go have a look at it." So what we did is you place two objects, or you place an object, you turn on magnets, and you place another one. And if you've seen Forge, when you turn on magnets, you get the glowing orange dots on each corner. Yeah. That show you where the magnets are. Well, those were gone, and they were just these little white circles. Well, what happened was you would grab one block and move it to the next, and you'd see this arrow go from one block to the next block, showing which magnets are going to attach. And if you didn't like where the magnets attach, you just looked at a different point of the block, and the arrow would move to that point, to the next point.
Really?
And when you let go, it would snap to it. So there was no, like, I don't know how many times I was frustrated making a Griffball court, and I'd be using magnets to set up the wall hop ledge, and all of a sudden I grab a piece and it'd go flying all the way to the other side of the court to some random magnet a mile away.
Right.
And they're just so unpredictable, especially when you have so many pieces. Now you're not only are magnets predictable, but you can say this magnet bit, stick to this magnet bit, and it just goes. And as I say, that was something he programmed in just over a day based on our suggestions. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. So there was a lot of suggestions like that they worked on, a lot of things that they said, they couldn't do because they were just too far out there, obviously. But the main thing was they listened, and they did their damnedest to either get it into the next day's build, because every day Forge was different. Like from the day we first worked on it till the last day there, all sorts of things had evolved and were programmed and dropped into it, either based on our suggestions or things that were in the pipeline to come up that day anyway. But I just couldn't believe it, how fast they were able to implement these features and get them working beautifully, like absolutely beautifully.
Receptor's got a question that was something that crossed my mind too. He was like, he mentioned Pete the Duck had a Forge wish list for Halo 5, and when I was reading this list at Waypoint, I was thinking about the Forge cast that you guys had done. Yeah. And it looks like they listened to the Forge cast, wrote down everything you guys wanted.
Oh, it goes beyond that. This is one of the things that came up. Remember I said that when we first walked in the room, they gave us an introduction, and we sort of stopped and said, there's a lot of things here that we've asked for. And they said, yeah, we know. And I said, what do you mean we know? And she goes, well, you remember this list, this wish list on Forge Hub? He says, yeah, we read all those, and we copied it and pasted them to our whiteboard or our note, or the note, whatever program they use. And they use these wish lists as the foundation for Forge. That's what they did, is they used that. They threw away the old Forge and said, this is how we're going to do it now, and we're going to base it on these ideas. And my joke was, I said, one of the features I said, you know what? I remember saying that about a year and a half ago at NeoGAF, and I said it felt like I was whispering something in a dark corner, and they heard it and they implemented it. That's exactly what it felt like. I said, you read that post? He goes, yeah, we read that post. We read everything. We take it all into consideration, and we said, can we make this work? If so, yeah, they make it work. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And the probably the biggest one was remember Hangar 101? Yep. Okay, yeah. Hangar 101. When I made it, it had an invisible wall that I made out of one-way bouncy barriers and gravity volumes to keep you in the court. And when that version shipped to matchmaking, it had a solid invisible wall. And that brought up, also that's I think when some of the wish lists started, is we need to have this, this forgeable wall. And they said, yeah, we followed that conversation you guys were having, and it's in the game. It's right here, and you showed it to me. There it is, invisible barrier. And not only was it there there exactly how I described it. I said down to the smallest piece you can make, which is 2x2. And when I say 2x2, I don't mean the 2x2 from all the other forges where these giant, the block drop court.
Yeah.
The blocks, those were 2x2s. Okay. Now a 2x2 is actually 2 feet by 2 feet in real size.
Wow.
So it's just small. So the smallest invisible piece is, I think, 2x2, and it goes up to about, if you take, the grid piece that a lot of people build for floors, if you take that and cut it in half, that's how big the largest piece is.
Wow.
Yeah, so as I said, when in the post I described it, I said not only do we need invisible barriers, but we need them all different sizes, and there's 15 different sizes of these things. It's just phenomenal.
I got a question.
NOKYARD.
Yeah, that's the joke was they called it, or we called it the NOKYARD wall. The whole week we were there.
Retrograder has another question. They mentioned man cannons in the blog post.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
That you guys can kind of direct where the man cannons go and all that.
Yes.
And they also mentioned that the breakout court is forged. I mean, that's one of the 4 forged canvases is the Tron thing.
That's right.
So Retrograder wants to know: can we, presumably for other things besides breakout, can we use those man cannons as like the launch?
So what you're saying is, can you have man cannon starts in Griffball?
Yes.
That's the actual.
Do you think
question.
that is possible with all the asterisks about Griffball?
I believe it is possible.
Cool.
All right, so
Because
Griffball, Halo
as
5.
far as from what we're told, the breakout court is completely forgeable, and those are forgeable items.
Cool.
And what we saw too is when I placed the spawn had some more settings and labels to it. That usually the spawn, you place the spawn, it'll say this is your XYZ coordinate, your team label, which team it's on, and spawn at start, that sort of thing. Well, now there's a whole list of other things to do with like script. Oh, I don't know if scripting's in spawns, but one of the items I saw was running start. So when you have an initial spawn, you can actually if you turn on running start, it puts this little arrow on the front of the spawn. You take this arrow in forge mode and you drag it to like 20 feet in front of the spawn, and there's like a little arrowhead on the end of it. And what that indicates is when they spawn, they will run to the end of that arrow. When they get to the end of the arrow, that's when it gives control to the player.
I hope you can drag that out for like miles. And so you start when they're running.
I'm assuming you can, but as I said, I only got to move one on one spawn just to look at it and see how it played. But when you watch the breakout videos and you realize this is forge and everything on it is a forge, anything that you see in breakout, you'll be able to add to forge. That's my best guess anyway.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So previously in Forges, you had a limited number of items that you could actually use.
Yeah.
And once you used up your full allotment, you were done. It was either you used.
Yeah, that's gone.
That is gone. So now you can do everything you want to do.
You could, as far as I know, you could spend your entire budget on space whales. Okay.
Really?
Is there
Seriously?
a story?
There's no limit.
Space whales?
That's awesome.
Well, the space whale is one of the it's in, like, if you watch the Warzone, the little feature, they just put a video of it out on Waypoint, but it's an actual, you can see the space whale through the glass in the arena map that takes place sort of embedded in the ocean.
Fathom,
yeah. Yeah, that's right, Fathom. If you look out the window, occasionally a whale will go by. Now, these whales are the inspirations for the new the Phantoms. The Covenant drop ships. Well, yeah. they're shaped like these whales because that's what you do. You mimic nature, right?
And they're from Segelius.
Yes, that's right. So what the team wanted to do is they wanted to have. I mean, this is just my fuzzy memory of them talking about it. I don't remember the exact details, but I know they wanted something cute in the game, something like Froink. Remember Froink from what was that? Longshore. Remember Longshore?
Yeah.
Map? And it had the fish shack and the picture of the fish on the front.
Yep.
Yes.
So that was Froink. They wanted to have that, but apparently that was still a trademark that's owned by Bungie. So they couldn't have that, so they had to come up with their own. So they took the space whale and they just made a cute little like rubber ducky type thing out of it. It's pretty big though. It's a good size. It's it's the size of a car basically.
What are the physics on this space whale? Is it bouncy?
It's kind of like it's kind of bouncy like a ball, but it's more like it's like a rubber ducky. It'll have one or two bounces and then it stops, sort of thing. It doesn't bounce like a ball, but that was the joke that I said is you can make a ball pit, make a box, and clone 1,000. Wait, you don't have to clone 1,000 things. You just clone one, and then you group it and duplicate it, and that turns 2. Then you group that and duplicate it. That's 4. So in about 3 minutes, you can make a ball pit with your entire budget made out of space whales.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Now,
Kelly, you shot a space whale when you fell through the floor.
Yeah, well, I was playing Fathom at PAX, and I found a
bug,
and I fell through the floor, and all of a sudden I was outside, and there was these giant whales swimming around me, so I started taking pot shots at them.
What's funny is because I fell with you, like right next to you, and I hit the kill barrier and you didn't. And my body fell and I watched you land right next to me. And then, of course, the camera backs up and there you are. You just turned around and looked, right? You looked left and just started running. I was like, well, there he goes.
Yep.
I don't know who that is. And
I know
it wasn't until afterwards.
Bourbon asked on Twitter if there was also a bowl of petunias to go with the space whale.
No. I get it. You don't. I get it.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, one other general question. I know that Griffball has been alluded to by Kevin Franklin. Frankie has mentioned that he's seen a hammer, but it hasn't been officially announced / confirmed so far. But in your opinion, based on what...
In my opinion, all I can say is that all the other cartographers were there. We were there from Labor Day till the following Sunday. I left on Tuesday.
Wow.
So I was there for 2 days longer working on other stuff.
Yep.
Salsa.
So, in your
Working on
opinion, just based on what they've what 343 has released about Forge, how do you think the time to create a Griffball court is different between Halo 3, Halo 4, and Halo...
Oh, you mean just based on the building tools, assuming everything? Well, for you, it'll be amazingly quick because I had a lot of time to think about this while I was forging there, obviously. And you know how I've always made templates for everybody? I make a template, you build your court around it.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, now the template can be the court. So basically, you'll be able to take my template and you'll be able to play a full game of Griffball on it. Spawns, everything in place, walls, ceilings because of the invisible barriers, and it'll be invisible. Everything will be invisible on it.
So we'll play Griffball on a totally invisible court.
You will be able to play Griffball floating in the sky in an invisible court. Now, what that means is
awesome.
all you have to do is decorate the court.
So you throw up the paint and you throw up the texture.
Yeah,
whatever.
basically, I'm giving you an invisible, empty court that has everything in place, and all you have to do is decorate it. Put your floor under it. Put your walls under it. Whatever you want to do, as long as your items don't protrude into the structure that's there. And it's really obvious when, like with the invisible pieces, it's really obvious when a piece goes into them. As long as your decorations don't protrude into it, all courts will play exactly the same.
And is there a locking mechanism? So if someone tries to place a wall, they can place it right as close as possibly can to the invisible barrier?
Sorry, what was I just didn't hear the first word of the question.
Like, if someone is placing a piece next to the invisible barrier, is there some kind of locking mechanism or something so they can easily put it?
Well, they can magnetize it to it if they want. Actually, no, I didn't see magnets. Yeah, invisible pieces had magnets. Yeah, there'll be. I'll make instructions on how to specifically do it, but it is kind of tricky because invisible barriers don't support clamber. When I was there, they probably will by the time Forge comes out. Mm-hmm. But you had to make, like, you could clamber to the edge of one when it was sideways, but once you turned it 90 degrees, you couldn't clamber on it.
So what I'm excited about is if you have a see-through floor, that means that beneath the see-through floor, I can spawn a bazillion space whales.
Sure you can.
Yes.
And then
the only problem with that is people would be floating around. Now keep in mind, this is all just this whole thing I'm talking about. This is all just theory. These are thoughts that I had in my head while I was forging, the maps they had me forging. But the thing is that I don't know where Griffball stands actually. That's the whole thing. The whole truth of the matter is I really don't know. I'm not saying that, NDA, I can't talk about it, but I really don't know where it stands. They took as much information as they could about me for everything I needed to know, but they gave none back. So I have no idea what their plans are. And I'm not just deflecting. I have no idea what their plans are.
They flash cloned his brain. There's a little dot there at AI at 343 now.
Maybe that's why I was sitting in that strange room with all the lights and lasers on it.
There was this thing floating around your head like a CAT scan. Yeah. That might have been it.
Oh, here, I can show you the room I was in too. I can give you the link to that. I'll send it to you in the chat here. You can put it up for everybody.
So did Can I
Yeah,
ask
this is the room I was in. If you want to put that up.
Nice view.
Yeah, it was, and the poster on the wall is, oh, I had a link to it.
Nice.
Oh, here it is.
Which poster? The one to the left or the one in the hallway with
the one
Halo
is
Guardians?
obviously the one of the Guardians one, but this one was one of Sparth's, and you may have seen it before, but yeah, put the link to that up in the chat as well.
Yeah, the concept art.
Yeah, and I mean, anytime I was dry for ideas, well, which never happens, but for that 30 seconds, I would just just stand up and stare at this picture. It's just gorgeous.
And he hand paints those.
Really?
Those are computer.
Well, there are.
He does it
ones...
by hand, like with a tablet on a computer. Yeah, they actually showed one of the sprints showed him making one of these, and he does it on a computer, like with a one of those Wacom tablet type things.
I'm pretty sure though that
I'm pretty sure he does them both ways. Yes. Or
yeah, obviously the physical ones are a lot rarer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that actually exists in like an oil painting format somewhere too.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
That's
which
nuts.
is gorgeous.
I have one more Big Forge question for you.
Sure.
Scripting. That they introduced scripting in Halo 2 Anniversary, and it's supposedly even bigger and better in Halo 5. What do you think about it, and how could you see it being applied to a Griffball core?
Well, I have some ideas for that, but okay. For the first, you're doing this multiple question thing. this happened when they were interviewing me in front of the camera. He like threw 5 questions at me. How do you feel about this, that, and that? I was like, just ask me one question.
I'm NOKYARD. Hi.
Ask me a specific question. I'll give you a specific answer, but don't ask me how I feel about something. I actually told him that. Anyhow, what was I saying? The scripting. Yeah, the scripting is phenomenal now because. You can just do so much more with it. Like you can have things change color. You know what I mean? Like you can make it so that like
if the red team is winning, the court is red, and if the blue team is winning, the court is blue.
Some possibly, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the exact parameters are, but there are so many possibilities. And not only that, you can script one item to affect another item, and that item can have its own set of scripting in, so that you can actually use it like a basic programming language, conditionals. You know what I mean? Like
if-then statements.
Yes, exactly. Like you can make a physical if-then statement, which is really.
When we're saying scripts, I'm thinking C# or Java, but I'm guessing it's not that kind of.
It's more like a condition, like if this condition happens, like someone walks into this area, or someone shoots this thing, or this team scores this goal. You know what I mean? It has to be based on physical triggers of things that can actually happen in game.
So it's a visual coding, visual scripting. Because you see it, it's in plain English, and then you can just kind of drag and drop.
No, it's more like applying a label to if you place a goal, you can say that this goal belongs to Ricochet and this goal belongs to blue team. But now you can say this goal will despawn if someone walks near it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It just means you can do a lot more. So as I say, it's kind of complicated, but it's one of those things where that there's some of these forgers are going to put out the good videos to show you how to actually do this stuff, because it's complicated to describe, but once you're actually doing it, it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty obvious what you're doing.
Receptor suggests
it's just that there's so many things you will be able to do with it that they just haven't envisioned yet. They're just giving you a tool. They're packing as much into it. And they're just going to say, okay, go nuts. Let's see what you can do with it, because most of it's beyond what they're going to do anyhow.
Receptor suggests that if there's no explosion on the Griffball court, you can have a torrent of space waiting rain down when somebody scores.
Well, my idea was to have the whole court blow up.
Hypothetical.
Awesome.
The hypothetical.
Yes, the hypothetical court hypothetically explode.
Yeah, as I say, this is all hypothetical at this point. As I say, I don't know. I'm not saying this because I was there. I'm saying this because I saw the team behind it, and I see how passionate that they are and how much they want to make the community happy. Is is I'm saying these things, assuming that they're continuing on the same focus towards Griffball. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So, question about when you guys were forging, were you guys using Xboxes that have the current
No,
interface, or is it the new interface? Because I have the new interface and it's crazy. What's your opinion on it?
Ours have a scary face. I explained this in the Assailant forums, but our I wish I could had a picture. Oh wait, I do have the pictures. It'll just take me a second to find this. So come back to this question of which the Xbox is in a minute. I got to put a picture up for you, but
okay, because
so you can just ask me another
out of
question.
time, so this will probably be our last thing.
We got about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's perfect then.
Do you guys have any other questions about Forge or anything?
I mean, there's Forge.
Okay, tell you what, I will answer that question and I'll just describe it. The Xboxes we used we had a retail box beside us and we had a dev box. So like a retail box is just like our box at home, and that way we could go into our own file shares to bring up things if we needed to reference anything. And the dev kits were strange because when you boot in on, you go to just the regular dashboard, and when you fire up Halo 5 Guardians, your map comes up, and that's all that comes up. It launches you straight into the map you're forging on and nothing else. When you quit the game, it goes back to dashboard. The game itself is only that map. So I couldn't even you couldn't even play a custom game on your map to test things out. So, and I don't know if you know that much about forging, but you're constantly going back and forth between forge and game mode to make sure that the things you're setting down are holding up in actual game mode, and the things that you place, like the bumps in the floor and that, sometimes they'll change slightly when you put it in game. We didn't have that opportunity. So, and things like lights and man cannons behave differently in Forge. So it was kind of hard to forge without being able to do that. But with the new Forge, it wasn't as bad as it was in previous iterations.
So Leo's got a question. Are there lasers?
Are there lasers? Oh. That was something I asked about too, and I didn't get an answer. I said it was one of my feature requests was hills that you could make show up in game and that you could color, like exactly. And I explained to him. I said, this is how we use them. I showed him pictures of all the custom team courts I made with all the colorful stuff on it. I said, we would like to be able to do this, even if it was like just some way to make a hill light up. But the thing is that the hills that they're doing in Forge, like when you set a trait zone, like a player respawn area, which is some of the things that we use for lighting the courts, they look totally different now. They aren't like King of the Hill type hills anymore. They're completely different graphic to them. Anyhow, it's a feature request I put in, but we'll see. One of the cool things is, speaking of feature requests, is they can update Forge at any content update break and actually change things in Forge, add things to Forge, add features to it, add control features to it, and it'll just grow and grow and grow. And by the time Halo 6 comes out, it'll be a completely different beast.
So lasers later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if we need lasers and the community says we have to have lasers in the game, we can go back to them and say we have to have lasers in the game, and then they'll say, oh, well, let's, maybe for the next content update, we'll put them in for you. And then you can take them and put them in a map that you've already made. It's not like, you have to remake your map over again and add the laser. They just show up in the inventory. You just go back to your map and they show up in the inventory.
Because all of the items are universal, right?
Yeah, it's really cool that it doesn't matter what map you're on, everything's exactly the same, which has never happened before. It used to be if you forged on like the DLC maps that came with Reach had all different forge pieces than the base ones that came with Reach, and you couldn't interchange them in that. Now it's all one big environment, and whatever you do on one map, you can just pick up and put it on another map. It's so cool.
Well, Knocker, thank you so much for sharing all of your secrets and your adventures on your the wedding trip to to Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple more questions in the chat box, but I'm sure Knocker would be willing to field those as well as we get ready to roll into our Thursday night Griffball match. So that's coming up in just a couple seconds. But thank you, NOKYARD, for sharing all your secrets.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me. I will go into the chat box and rewind it and answer as many questions as I can.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, NOKYARD.
Hey, no problem.
Bye.
Bye, NOKYARD.
All right.
All right. Well, everybody else, you stay tuned because in just a few seconds, we're going to be getting started with Thursday Night Griffball. We've got, who's it? We have Bad Intentions versus
Pro Run.
Pro Run. Okay.
Like,
Bad Intentions. My team. I'll be calling for Bad Intentions. All the best players from all the best teams.
Why are you waiting? Oh, so that's it for the Hubcast. So I totally forgot. This is the Hubcast, and we are ending it now. So thank you for tuning in. This will be posted shortly, but if you're listening to it, it's already been posted. But right now, we got to go because we got to go stream a game. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.